The other task we'll commonly have to do is splicing wires together, joining wires to connect them to the same point in a circuit, the same ground, perhaps power. And for that purpose, we often use what are known as Raychem splices. They are two-piece environmental splices, and they have a conductive barrel that is actually crimped, and then a environmental sleeve which is shrunk down over top of the crimp to protect that crimp area from moisture and other environmental factors. This crimp uses what's called the Raychem Splice tool, or Raychem. That is the brand. You can also get other manufacturers, but it will be a crimp tool that is specific to those types of crimps. Typically 3-jaw, red, blue, yellow for different sizes of splices. When we are splicing wires together, we need to make sure that we use the correct size of barrel and the correct size sleeve. They are color-coded: blue, blue, red, red, yellow, yellow. They are designed for a certain size of wire or a certain number of wires at a certain size. That's a little bit too much to get into in this video, but there is a table, a chart that will show you what size wires we can put into each of these crimps, each of these splices. So once you've got your wires stripped properly, you would insert them in and ensure that you can see that wire coming through to that center stop. Okay, this actually needs to be stripped a little bit more because we can see the insulation disappearing into the barrel, which is not ideal. It should be sitting right about there, but when it's there, we can't see those center conductors in the middle, in the window, so not quite adjusted properly for the strip length. This one looks to be stripped a little bit more, so if we test it, we can see that they're visible in that center window, but we actually have a little bit too much showing at the end, at the back of the barrel. We shouldn't see quite that much conductor there. It should be about half of that. So we should be adjusting those a little bit so that it fits in properly. So now that we have that wire adjusted properly, we can see that the center conductor goes to the middle and the insulation is just at the back of that barrel. So we have that stripped at the proper length now. To crimp it, we're going to use our Raychem crimper, and since we have a blue splice, we're going to use the blue jaw here, which is 16 to 20 gauge. So when we crimp, we have a stop on the back of that crimper, which will position our splice in the proper to the proper depth, or in the proper position in the crimper. So if we open up our crimper, we'll be able to slide that in all the way to that stop, and then we can crimp down. You'll notice that I have the window at the top so that as I'm looking down, I can ensure that my wire is still fully seated in that splice. Once I've done one side, we can see that it has crimped down. Okay, then I would turn it around, place it in my crimper like that, still with the window up, and place my second wire in and fully seat it all the way in. And then squeeze down. And we have a hopefully nice crimp there where you can see the conductors in the center windows. The crimps are in line with each other, you can see, so it hasn't distorted this splice too much. And we are now ready for the sleeve. We would slide the sleeve over the end of the wire, center it over the splice barrel, and then heat it up so that the glue in the two ends will flow and come out and completely seal around those wires. So what we end up with is something that looks like this, where you can see that how that sealant has come out and completely sealed that splice there. Now this is a demo or an example of having 2 wires and 2 wires. So we've got 2 wires coming out of both sides of that splice, which would allow us to join multiple wires together.